días a todos. ¿Se me oye? Sí. Vale. Antes de nada, gracias. Antes de nada, muchas gracias por asistir al evento y muchas gracias a los organizadores por darnos la oportunidad a BEEVA de compartir con vosotros nuestro conocimiento, que se basa sobre todo en nuestro trabajo de innovación en el área de IoT. I'm going to switch to English as I was supposed to do this presentation in English. So thank you everyone for coming up here. We know you're busy, very busy people, and we'll try to make this short and share with you some of our insights on what we have been doing lately on IoT. The idea of this presentation is not really to show you wow POCs or wow effect proof of concepts that we might have done, but really to focus on what is the reality today and let's say the challenges that we are facing in IoT for building solutions. Okay, first we'll start with a small presentation on who we are, because everybody knows Intel, probably everybody knows Software AG, but probably not all of you know who we are, BEEVA, and what do we do. We'll continue with IoT. What is it for us? IoT solutions, and if we have some time, we'll go to questions and answers. We are BEEVA, and this is what we do. This is how REM group, the music group, started their concert. So I like this way of starting presentations. Who are we? We are a group. We belong to the BBVA group. We started is a startup that was built in 2001, and we are meant to be the IT spearhead of the group. Okay, so we give service to the group, and since 3-4 years now, we give service to all the market except bank and finance. Okay, so we cannot provide services to bank and finance, except for our group, of course. We have had quite a big growth these last years. This is due mainly to our strategy, our business strategy. That is this the pointer? That is based on 3 areas: cloud computing, big data, and machine intelligence. This has drawn us to have a very big growth. As I said before, we are now more than 500 people based in Madrid, here in Spain, but we also have offices in Mexico with more than 100 people, and now we have teams working already in the US, in Alabama, mainly providing services to the group. Yeah. We are meant to do new openings in Latin America starting this year, and next year probably more than 1 opening also. What are we? I think this is not the right one, but okay. Anyway, we are partners, of course, as we base our strategy on cloud, big data, and machine intelligence. We are partners. We have some very strong partnerships with Microsoft, Google, and Amazon. I'm sorry for this slide because we put this here, but we are as strong on Google and Amazon as on Microsoft. Okay, we want to make it clear because we are agnostic on the cloud. We work with the 3 of them. We are focused on innovation. That means that we invest in innovation. We have dedicated teams in innovation. Fernando here is one of our IoT researchers on the line of IoT research. And this is why we can accomplish our mission. Our mission, as I said before, is to be the spearhead of the group in terms of IT technology. And so we have to be here in the maturity curve famous maturity curve of technology of Gartner. We need to prepare our people 1-2 years before the market comes. So we have dedicated people in innovation who scan all the new technologies, test them, do POCs on it, and then when we see that there is traction in the market and that these technologies are mature enough, we begin to work with our clients on them. Okay? So we give our clients really the advantage of being here, which gives them all the market advantage and the possibility of getting a bigger share of the market with new technologies. As I said before, cloud computing, big data, machine intelligence. We started cloud computing in 2010, just to give you an idea. Big data, our first projects, real projects, were in 2012. We have more than 150 people certified in public clouds like Amazon, Microsoft, Azure, and Google. And since 2015, we are working very hard on machine intelligence. I mean, this is the next step for us. As it has been mentioned before, artificial intelligence is coming. The next step is to put intelligence in everything we do. And so we are already working with all the algorithms that give value to our platforms and to our customers and, of course, our partners that we work with. Innovation as a service. This is really a demand that came from our customers. Since we do a lot of innovation and is one of our main objectives, we have our methodology really proven. We can build MVPs in weeks, and some of our clients asked us really to, why don't you share this with us? Why don't you provide us some services so we can enhance and increase our innovation capabilities? And so this is one of the services that we are providing now, and people are really happy with it, because we really help them leverage all the innovation that they can do in the different industries. Of course, this is very beneficial for us, because that way we also learn their use cases, and this is very good also for the group. Okay? What is IoT? What is the understanding we have of IoT? I'll do we've done many POCs on this area, and we have dedicated researchers, and I'm going to put here just a simple one as an example of what are the challenges that we are facing on IoT. Okay? We try to do this as a homework, really. Okay? We say, okay, there's this supermarket that has these shelves, and some of them go, and sometimes they get empty. So people come and they don't find their products, and they just don't buy it. So this is a loss for the supermarket, and really a problem of optimizing a supply chain. If we get to predict in some way using IoT when is this going to happen, we can prevent it. We can improve sales, and we can improve also our supply chain. When we were trying to do this, we found, these challenges. Mainly hardware challenges, even if, as we've seen before, the hardware is really evolving and it's coming very fast. As of today, that's why we call it as of today, there are not that many different devices or adapted devices to reality, or to the use case reality that we need. So we have to do some research and see which is the best technology that fits in terms of sensors that can fit on this use case. So we have to find suitable devices, and we have to debug them, and then we have to put up communications, and then we have to take care really of power consumption. Power consumption is really important, because it limits the span of life of the sensor or of the thing that we are working with. Regarding software for us is really, it comes probably from the gateway till the back end, and it has to be capable of collecting this information, working with it, and process it, and get some value out of it. But that's a part that it's a bit hard, let's say, configuring it first, but really is we see it as a more mature area. Things unresolved, as I said before, the hardware manufacturing is not going as fast as software is going, really. This is normal. This is normal cycle. Development cycles for hardware are longer and are more expensive. That's just the reality of it. Power consumption, we have this limitation on power consumption, so we have to be very, very careful of the use case and use the required device that it connects. The frequency of connection is what is going to do the power consumption. So it depends on the use case. You may use a device that connects and sends information 100 times a day. Might be enough for a truck, for example. But if you're working in a industrial plant, probably you'll need much more frequency, and these devices maybe they need to be wired. Why not? Okay. So as you see here, we could have said, okay, yes, we did it. Okay, we got to detect this, and we can predict this, and yes, we get information. But we wanted to make a focus on the unresolved part of it, and that will lead us to this, to how are things built. Really, what is the computing concept here? We have these devices, we have a digital representation, and we have connectivity. Coming back here, talking about digital representation, we have a problem which is automatic deployment. Not many people talk about this, but really if you're doing a POC, you can put 50 sensors, that will work. We configure it one by one, usually, and we can show it works. That's great. But if you're talking about making a deployment of thousands, not just on a shelf, but on 1,000 shops, you need some software that automatically configures that. If you have to put 500 sensors more, it has to be automated. You cannot be configuring just one by one the sensors or two by two, I don't care. You need to do this automation. And we see that this is not yet as mature as it should be, and it increases costs of implementing a lot. So just to make a summary of this, we have these physical objects, the digital representation that allows us to control them, monitor it, and configure it, and deploy, and the connectivity. So as I said before, there's another point that I didn't mention, uncontrolled environments. We are always talking about things inside a building. Okay, we have the cases also of outside the building. We have to take care of, when we speak about wild environments, we're talking not only nature wild, say there's an insect comes into your sensor and it no longer works, or it sends incorrect data. I mean, this can happen. But also human, non-controlled environments. I mean, humans can break the sensors, so we have to take into account all these uncontrolled environments. This is very high level. Okay, these are the three layers that we see. So first, for IoT, first devices, then the gateways and edge devices. So the communications part, and the server-side architecture currently that will process or give some intelligence to this data that we get, and make us have some value out of all this investment, really. What we see here, I'm advancing a bit, is that this part we see it less mature, this part is becoming more mature, and this is really we can say it's already a mature area that we can work with. This is a summary of, if we can call this summary because there are many things, but of all the challenges that we are facing, that we have faced when coming from, let's say, software development to an IoT development. Really, when we speak about software, as I said before, we are adding hardware. We are adding hardware, which means we are adding longer cycles of development and more cost. We are adding the problem of batteries. Here we have the electrical grid, we have no issues. Here we have the power issue that I mentioned before. Environment, wild, as I said. Availability usually is partial. I mean, we have many layers. The points of failure are many more. So we have to take into account that it can fail sometime. And what is the backup for that? Physical, in place, multi-level, but it's physical also. So deployment, maintenance, security is not virtual, it's physical. Someone has to go there and deploy the sensors. Someone has to maintain that. Someone, or I mean, robots in the future, or drones can do some things to eliminate false positives. But mainly, finally, we need physical intervention in all these levels. Communications, usually we use a single technology. Here we have different layers that have to communicate between them. And software, the testing of software, we know it very well. It takes some time, but it takes much less time than the testing of hardware again. So we are dealing with non-controlled physical environments and specific hardware problems, energy, and communications. I feel I'm being very pessimistic, but really is the state as we see it now. We know it's growing a lot, and we know in one very fast this will come out to be in a more mature. Okay. Regarding solutions, we differentiate, and the market really differentiates two big. I mean, every company is a use case, okay, and every business in the company can be a use case. But to do some grouping of these use cases, we see a lot of difference between what we would call consumer IoT and industrial IoT. Consumer IoT has informational value and concerns. Okay, so when we speak about probably retail or some other areas that are not really industrial, we are talking about adding value, really. We are adding value, but we are not putting these systems in the core of the business of the company, of the business process. We mean that this does not necessarily impact on the operations, on the day-to-day operations. It's not probably as critical as in the industry. In the industry, imagine we have some sensors on some machines, a big machine, in an industrial plant, and these sensors stop functioning. If we don't have an alert on this, something that controls that these sensors are doing their job, we might find us with a problem that this machine falls down, and I mean, it can be a catastrophe in the plant. So they are much more critical. What I mean is that we mean that this is much more critical. It gives a lot of value, though. There's much more value, much more risk, just like in the stock market, okay? We have a lot of value here, but a lot of risk. And we have value, so we get quite a bit of value here, but the risk is less. So these are the two environments that we differentiate. Vertical or horizontal solutions. As we've been seeing in the market for the consumer IoT, we think that probably the horizontal solutions are maybe the best fit in the short mid-term, because these things are evolving really fast. The maturity, as we say here, we have the three layers, so the things, all the sensors, machines are here, the network part, communications, and the data platform. Regarding the data platform, for us, it's really already quite mature environment. We can trust on it, the security, we can mix data from different sources. We can use the public clouds of any of the main providers. That's not an issue, and they have IoT connectors, so we can pull the information there. That's not an issue. Network, we see it let's say in a middle place between these ones in terms of maturity. Network, we don't have a dedicated, let's say, network for IoT. There are different protocols, different solutions. Now is the narrowband coming, and that might be a solution, but it's not yet deployed. So we think that it's not really completely, let's say, mature, but it will be in a very short lapse of time. And where we see that we need more improvement is in the part of things, But this is normal. As I said before, hardware takes more time. We need more variety of this hardware and more powerful, and it will also come. But for the consumer or consumer cases, these things already give you some service and might be enough. Okay. Vertical solutions and horizontal solutions on the industrial IoT case. As we said before, the industrial IoT is very critical. We can really, we are working with a lot of risk, critical systems, and the big ones have already vertical solutions for this, for different industries, so automotive, oil and gas. And probably the choice now for this kind of industries, where we're dealing with many requirements in terms of security, business criticality, etc., should be probably a vertical solution. Nevertheless, as the horizontal solution, the data platform horizontal solution can give some advantages to compared to all-in-one solutions or vertical solutions of all-in-one. Why? Because usually for analytics, etc., you are not looking only to control what is happening on the industrial plant. Okay, we want to mix this with our, I don't know, our customers' information. We want to mix it with some data from the IMED, for example, from the Meteorological Agency of Spain, or we want to mix it with many things. The level of security of current public cloud providers is much more than we can do in any of our data centers. The elasticity, the flexibility of them is always an advantage, and so we would say that maybe we could go for a vertical solution in this area, but take into account that we could complement it or use it directly, this kind of horizontal solutions. Finally, how do we build our IoT solution? For the moment being, we are a company that works in an agile manner. We have a lot of Scrum Masters. We like this way of working, and we think is the one that pays off the most. And in the IoT arena, we think it's a bit of the same currently. We have to firstly identify what are the business criticality, environment, security requirements for our use case. Then we would choose, well, I'll go for a vertical solution, or I'll go for a horizontal solution, depending on the use case. Then we have to test, especially if we go for a horizontal solution, test the devices, things, the network devices, and the data platforms to match our needs. So as Jürgen, we got here three Jorges. So it's Jürgen, Jorge, and Gorka. As he said before, it's building blocks, really. We have to test, we have to test these devices. We have firstly to identify them, test the devices, test the data platform, and use an iterative approach allowing for fast fail. For fast fail, what will allow us fast fail is really the cloud, really. We are going to spend, some hundreds of dollars or $1,000 in doing a POC with in IoT on the cloud, and if you do, and then iteratively work and enhance it, and then to find the best solution. Okay. So finally, use data platforms on the cloud, ensuring scalability and flexibility, which allows us also to introduce machine learning in the cloud. Okay. This is as of today. As Jorge said before, okay, the ideal world will be a distributed intelligence. We are going to that, but as of today, machine learning algorithms sit on the cloud. If we are able to do it with more hardware, do it partially on the edge, that would be great, or in the sensors, that would be great. I don't know if I have 2 minutes for questions, or yeah. By the way, my colleague Fernando Cerezal is here, so he's okay. So for technical questions, he might be able to answer also.
Hi. Rather than a question, it's more like I didn't agree with your affirmation. You said there's no network dedicated to IoT deployed, totally deployed. No,
I know there are, but they don't cover all the all the use cases.
That's not true. Basically, I'm from Sigfox, and Sigfox network in Spain is now currently connecting more than 1 million objects for Securitas Direct. In Spain, we reach 90% of the population, so it's the only IoT network that is 100% commercially available.
I agree for consumer IoT. Okay, I would agree for that. Depends on the use case, as I said before. If we need a frequency of messaging and for example, I don't know, requirements of supporting explosions, fire, whatever in some plants, and a frequency of let's say of communications greater than 100 messages, 140 messages per day. I don't know, maybe you have new solutions, but as far as we knew for the moment, there was some limitations in that area.
Obviously,
this can cover a lot of use cases. I'm not saying it doesn't. I know Sigfox and Laura, you're great guys. I'm not saying that, but we say that we Depending on the use case, it might be a good fit or it might not be.
But what I'm telling is, although there are limitations, and obviously it's not for all use cases, it's not correct to say there's no a narrow band dedicated exclusively for objects, because it's still deployed, it's commercially available in Spain 100%, in 32 countries, and then it will be in 60 countries next year, so it's available. It doesn't mean for all use cases, for some of them, but available, and it exists. You don't have to. We have.
No, what I meant is that there's no one solution that really is going to cover, or there's no to cover this all the use cases. Okay, I know that there are deployed communications for this kind of network, but really they don't cover everything that we need, and when we try to do our POCs, in many times some of them it works, and some of them it just doesn't fit. Okay, it's not that. We know there's networks deployed, but what we say to our customers is that really they have to take care of looking really well what do these networks do and don't do regarding their use case. Okay.
Of course, but it exists.
Yeah. I messaged you, I know.